timer. Just let it roll.
Oh,
let it roll.
Well, that will definitely be fun to watch, but what's even more fun is that we're going in towards our very final series right here of this best of 3 between Candy Comeback versus Axis Esports. Now, of course, we've seen so many of all these players pit each other against.
So dirty.
Well, we've already seen that sort of perfect wave clear coming from the side of CC, already getting in towards the very first camp for Norse and Mister.
I mean, check this out. Lassit decides to hide in the brush and wait for the moment to give over the buff. He barely loses his entire health bar, and now he walks up, he loses 2 minions. That's A-okay, but the buff is secured so quickly, it kind of denies a lot of EXP to their top side. And look at Bruno, he's only hit level 2. He should be nearing 3 at this point.
Well, that's definitely food for thought. Well, they definitely could have made a better option heading into this, but then again, look at EvilX. He's still level 1, which is, well, of course, pretty far. But look at Scott, though. All alone over on the bomb side. Will be joined by the Granger as well. So great rotations starting off from the side of Axis Esports. And that's definitely that redemption code for you guys back at home to claim some freebies. So what's in the box? It's for you to find out.
Yeah, get it while you still can, because these go. I mean, there's so many codes to be given away over the next couple of days, so stick around and watch some more if you want to be able to get some free prizes. But more importantly, I think you should check out the Granger, who's just having the time of his life with Franco just being his bodyguard in the river. Like, oh, if you're gonna rotate, like, we will know.
Oh wow, definitely that's something to look out for. Now, double rejuvenation for the side of Candy Comeback for their frontliners, Toms as well as Norse. So I'm really hoping to see them really outlast these enemies in those team fights. Well, I'm not too sure how are they supposed to approach this, as Norse dives into the jungle, but they don't really want to overextend at this point because there's not too much of that objective other than the turtle, and we're going to see a little bit of that team fight coming out, and that will be a hook over to Toms.
Toms has already popped the rejuvenation. He hits level 4, but he might be going down here. He instantly dies. The rejuvenation wasn't in time. The rest of the team in the back line is already trying to take them out. North tries to pick up EvilX. EvilX does go down over to Bistler. Now Bistler needs to make something happen here. He's trying to buy a little bit of time. Chrono dashes over the wall, but the rest of the team is not going to let him go without a fight. Lassit taking so much damage, but it ain't going to be enough as Scott locks the last member down. Bistler finally dies to that bloody hunt.
Wow, there's so many of these kills happening in the blink of an eye. Although Candy Comeback managed to secure that turtle, look at that overcommitment coming from CC. They dive over on an EvilX, but that flicker gave him a little bit of safety net for a while, and the rest of Axis Esports, they just march right in and punishes them for that overstep. Now, of course, that's definitely not worth it because they walk away with 4 kills in total after that skirmish happening on that turtle.
I mean, even though they did, you know, kind of throw their bodies at him, it allowed Conan a little bit of space to actually break that bottom side. Well, Tom's having to pop that glorious pathway to keep himself alive and a way to escape. But the rest of the team kind of has to respond because now Cho is going to be split pushing for the most part, knowing that his team is behind. He needs to pull pressure towards himself.
Well, I'm not too sure whether that righteous pathway would be pretty much be put into great effect, but he could have just walked out of that alive if we just fall back into that brush. Well, speaking of a brush here, Rin as well as EvilX are applying something up, and Norse will be diving head first. And where the rest of Candy come at? They don't really want to actually fully commit to that, so they're going to be playing a little bit more passively as the next turtle will be spawning out on the lower side of the river.
Yeah, they've done a really good, well, not really an interesting, but a very smart lane swap here, sending Conan to the top side because, again, there's nothing much for him to do. If he tries to push up to tier 2, it might cost him his life, so allows his bot lane he allows his marksman to kind of farm up down to that bot side with the safety of the turret while he goes top, and it's like, you know what, I might be able to get another top tier 1 if a fight breaks out.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that they're giving a little bit more attention towards the mid as well as top because there's no point finding a Masha to be able to Masha here. Toms is getting chunked out as well, but here comes North joining the picture, and EvilX a little bit off of position, but that flicker is going to be popped out. Well, this is going to be Rin already on that watch, trying to actually secure this turtle, and they will try to snatch this one away. EvilX on the forefront. Will they be able to connect? And it will be. Candy Comeback with the second turtle in hand.
Yep, and they're trying to make something happen, but Bistler, even though he got hit by all the abilities, still survives. EvilX makes it out of there with that wall charge. Rin taking quite a bit of damage here, forces the flicker. And Bloody Hunt isn't there. And Tom's popping the rejuvenation really quickly, making sure he survives. Even though he's taking a lot of damage, Rin goes down! And now Lung finally able to join the combat here. They don't have enough minions. Lassen is already in there. Masha comes in, and she gets the initial kill while the rest of the team pulls on backwards. Bister is still alive. The Salmon Force popped, but he chrono dashes away. Conan trying to make something work, but again, Lassen survives, able to kite it out.
I just felt like that dive was so unnecessary, and every one of these members of Candy Comeback kind of committed to that. Now, from that 4-kill gap, it's headed in towards 8-2. A little bit of that sort of rewind for you guys to miss out some of these action. Brought to you by U-Mobile. Now, they of course overcommitted. No minutes at all, which means that Lastic could dive right back in to punish Toms for that overextension. And of course, that will be it for now. But CC slowly falling back, and their levels are not really all too great either. Well, of course, pretty decent if you really want to compare it to all these members of Axis Esports. But wow, of that sort of a team fight, we're seeing about 3K gold in the span of that few minutes of time.
Yep, and again, the Iron Hook lands. Toms is in trouble. He's taking so much damage, but oh, I thought he was going to make it out of there. But Glorious Pathway isn't going to be enough to keep him after using the Rejuvenate so many times. It's still on cooldown. They're still pushing forward. Can they get another Iron Hook? Wild Charge has already been won by Evil X. The rest of the team is peeling backwards, and Granger isn't going to let anybody go without a fight. He's going to keep on shooting for the Iron Hook. Does miss from Scott. Rin needs one more hit. Rejuvenation has already been popped. Bister takes a little bit of damage, but not enough to finish him off. Oh my, hello there, Conan. Gets locked down by the Bloody Hunt, kicks him away with the Way of the Dragon, gets hit with a full rep. Ooh.
Well, I believe that was pretty much a huge miscommunication over on the side of Conan, because every one of these members are already low, and he chose to actually cut through the side to go in for the flank, but fight's already over before it's been begun, and Axis Esports now could also opt to actually push all these sort of the waves back towards the side of Candy Comeback and set up for the Lord, which will come out about 100 seconds from now. And look at the items. Of course, you have the Calamity Scythe already being purchased from the side of Harif, Blade of Despair for the Granger as well. So all these big items are coming out, and oh, that's a great hook over on Norse, and this is definitely one great pickup, all thanks to Scott.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue to deal with for Candy Comeback, because they're getting picked off way too often, but Scott's not letting them have a good time either. Toms pops the Glorious Pathway, trying to make something happen here, but I don't think it's going to work. I think Evil X, I mean, Scott should have his Iron Hook up relatively soon, but he doesn't want to get on a target like Toms. He wants to pick up Conan. He wants to pick up Ton MVP. Like, he wants to get the bigger hitters from Candy Comeback side.
Well, I definitely would say that Candy Comeback could still actually look for that late game ceremony, but Toms keep getting pressurized and caught out. They should not even get anywhere close to that junction, and Norris here, of course, arriving here, having nothing to do at all, just to farm a little bit more as he can. But Candy Comeback doesn't seem to be able to actually respond well, because even if you really want to focus on members of Axis Esports, you got so many frontliners like Evil X, like Scott, or even members like Lassit, who is technically unkillable by now.
Yeah, I mean, again, another Bloody Hunt has popped onto Boxia. Like, there's nothing they can do right now, because both Lung and Rin are gigantic in this game. And not to mention that Lassit, he already has the Windtalker and Demon Hunter Sword. He's basically unstoppable if he's left to his own accord, and that's why two people on the top side just have to make sure they clear the wave so that Masha doesn't get the push. And this is putting Candy Comeback in between a rock and a hard place. It's either you go to the bot side and try not to get hooked by this Scott's Franco. Iron Hook lands again!
Oh no! Mega kill going in the hands of Low, and they're looking for the double for him as well. Axis Esports now have a free pass to get that Lord underway, and Axis, they say they might not even need this one in hand. And now Norris diving all the way back. That hook almost connects, and every one of these members are really worried of getting pulled back by the side of Scott, as he's already getting 10 assists just by landing those hooks.
Exactly, and Lung, just with one crescendo, is chunking people to half their HP, and I think that's already a big statement in itself, that their carries are just so well farmed. They're just going to sit into the brush, play brush, guerrilla warfare, and brush tactics. If anybody walks up, just hook them, kill them, make sure that they don't have any breathing room outside of their base.
That's right, and I'm looking at the goal charts as well. Like, this is one of those games with 10K deficit, and I feel like Candy Comeback, I'm not sure if we're gonna have that sort of a name at the back though. Like, you can be Candy, but comeback at this point in time, pretty much hard to do.
Yeah, and Lord is already knocking on to Death's door here. Inhibitor's going down like it's nothing. I mean, with Lawson, he just chunks it out so quickly with just a couple of abilities. And Candy Comeback just kind of can't really do too much here as well. Getting locked down too far. The rest of the team doesn't want to help him out. Toms, again, the tanks are getting punished again and again and again. The carries are not willing to follow up.
Oh, no, to Ton MVP, almost falling flat as well. Now here comes the Salmon Force coming out, and they're trying to break down Lone. That's going to be a shutdown coming in, and Lasted trying to actually take down the Harif, and he'll be able to connect, and it's only down to Ton MVP, and Axis Esports wants to go in for the wipeout before going for the style points finisher, and this will be the first point given over on the side of Axis Esports.
Definitely a huge confidence booster for Axis Esports after, you know, a very poor playing in earlier this morning. Now slowly coming back, getting these 2-0s, and I think with one more 2-0, that's going to secure them. I mean, they've already secured their spot into the playoffs at this point. It's just, you know, just a little bit more to, you know, add up to your KDA.
That is pretty much true. And imagine this, like, if Candy Comeback does pull off a heist and come out with a 2-1 reverse sweep, then maybe they might be putting on that back foot as well. But
That's
then again,
true.
I would say that they're still qualified because they did defeat Team Gosu. Now, back to the stats we go. Mr. of course, tried his best, got some really high damage output, 52% for the side of Candy Comebacks, but that proves to be not enough for the side of Candy Comebacks to defeat Axis Esports. As you see, Axis having Scott, Rin, as well as Lung with those high KD